I hosted a clothing swap party for my friends over the weekend, and it was so much fun. I think you should host one too.
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater.
Today I'm hosting my first ever clothing swap party, so let's go downstairs and get this thing set up. Also, it's a taco party. So let's get into the why, the how it went, all of that good stuff. By now, most of you probably know I thrift most of my clothing. I love hand-me-downs, especially a free opportunity to try out clothing and styles that I otherwise might pass up. Sign me up. So after hearing about clothing swap parties, I thought that was such a fantastic idea as a lover of secondhand clothing and hand-me-downs especially, so I decided to host my own. Now, I started off pretty small. I consider this kind of my beta run, my beta trial, to test out the waters and see how it goes, to potentially do this on a bigger scale later. But for this first clothing swap party, I just invited my small group of girlfriends that I regularly host tea parties for, and I knew that they would be a good group to do this first trial clothing swap with. And because of scheduling conflicts, I couldn't make it a tea party like I normally would, so I changed it to a taco party, a clothing swap taco party. So really the first thing you need to do is just pick a date and time, decide who you want to invite, type up a little invitation, and just send it out. That's really the first thing you need to do. Not everyone's going to be able to make it, but sometimes you just have to pick a date, do a thing, and just go with it. So after establishing the when, the where, and who was gonna come, then the fun can really begin. So now what you're gonna need to do is go through your clothing, decide what you don't want to keep. Now there's a couple things to consider when deciding what clothing to bring to a clothing swap. Firstly, don't put out anything that you're not actually okay with giving away, because there is a very good probability that someone will take it home with them and you will never see it again. So don't put out anything that you are not 100% okay with giving away. Also, it's a little bit different seeing people look through your clothing in real time and choose it in real time rather than just sending it off to the thrift store. Be fully prepared to let go of these things. Don't put out anything that you're on the fence about. Do not bring anything that is really badly damaged or stained. Little like pinprick stains are fine, but it shouldn't be like really bad gross stains or armpit stains. A missing button might be okay. Things that are easily fixable, but nothing should be majorly stained or damaged. You should think to yourself, if this was at the thrift store in the condition it's in right now, would I buy this? So the things that you're bringing should be gently used and should be desirable items. If you are hosting, you might consider setting an item minimum or maximum as far as how much or how little you're allowed to bring to the clothing swap. I did not set a minimum or a maximum because, like I said, I only had a handful of friends attending. They're pretty chill people. I wasn't worried about them bringing in like 5 garbage bags of clothing, which honestly, with how few of us there were, that really wouldn't have been that big of a problem. And I also didn't want people to feel like they had to bring something to participate, especially since people are in such different stages of life. We don't know someone's financial situation or if they're going through bodily changes where they just need a change of clothing, or maybe they had a change of job and they just don't have clothing that fits their job. So I really didn't want to set too many limits just because I don't know where people are in their life situation. I think in the future, if I open this up to a bigger group of people, I might set an item limit just so that it doesn't get overwhelming. So that's just something to consider based on the size of the group that you're inviting and how much you think is reasonable to have out at the event. Another limit I might set in the future with a bigger group is have a specific time, like from the beginning of the event, maybe for like an hour of just, this is only the setup time. Like if you're bringing stuff to swap, this time to this time is only setting up and putting out those items, and then have a specific designated time of like, this time to this time is browsing, and then this time to this time is the shopping. Again, depending on the size of the group. We had a small group, so I kind of just was like, yeah, come whenever, set your stuff out whenever, shop throughout the event, because we had such a small group. And how we set up the items is I put out a couple of tables, like really long tables. Thankfully, we had some of those on hand. You can just use a kitchen table or a couch, basically anything that you would do to set up like a yard sale. We also have a little clothing rack that was really useful for those longer items like dresses. Just trying to have like flat spaces to display the clothing is going to be really helpful, even if that's just a blanket on the floor. And I asked my friends if they would prefer to have things organized by type or if they would rather have it organized by size. They said they would prefer it organized by size, so I kind of just did a left to right, smallest to largest. And again, depending on the size of the group, you might need to set out like actual sections for different sizes. Consider how you want stuff to be displayed. Consider if you want to organize by size only, or if you want to organize by size and type. That might change how the space is set up. Additionally, put out a full-length mirror if you have one that you can bring. We do also have like a bathroom that people can change in, so if you have the ability to set aside a room or a bathroom for people to try stuff on, that is very useful, because I know I personally don't like to shop anything that I can't try on. So a mirror and a changing space is going to be very useful as well if you're able to do that. I would recommend having snacks. Now, like I said, my first plan was to have this with one of my regular tea parties, and for the tea parties, literally all I do is provide like tea, hot and cold, and a little charcuterie board, and then I tell my friends they can bring a snack, they don't have to, and that is plenty. Remember, the clothing swap is a social event, so in addition to shopping each other's clothes, people want to mingle and just talk and have a good time. So put out a few snacks. A little cheese and fruit board is always a hit, but since this was more of like a dinner time, I did just make tacos for everybody, which is a lot more expensive than just a cheese board, and I probably won't be doing that again. But people enjoy being fed. It's good to feed your friends. I also did make this a kid-friendly event just because I know it's hard for people to get babysitters, and that was actually really fun to have the little kids running around, and they're just like so precious and sweet, and I love their company. So making it a kid-optional event can make it more accessible for more people. And the last thing I would say to consider when you're setting up and organizing this and telling people what to expect is, what are you going to do with all of the unclaimed items? I initially told my friends to be prepared to take everything back with them that was not claimed, and I would definitely recommend that for a larger group. But because we had a smaller group, at the end of the event, I did just volunteer to take all the unclaimed stuff to the thrift store. But with a larger group, I would not have done that. I probably would have just said, take back anything you brought that was not claimed. That way you don't end up with like truckloads of just stuff to sort through, because it can be a lot. If you're prepared for that, awesome. That will be a blessing to the people who come to your clothing swap, but don't be afraid to tell people they need to reclaim those unclaimed items. So that was a very big information dump of the how we went about this, but how did it all go? I think it went swimmingly. All of my friends who came seemed to have a really good time. They were saying like, yeah, we should do this again. This was great. I love shopping for free, which I was like, heck yeah, already 5 steps ahead of you. I think we should do one like every 6 months. You know, it's a good chance to go through your wardrobe and get some new stuff for free. Everyone walked away with a couple things. My one friend, Carly, she walked away with so much stuff, and I'm so glad for her. No one was like, oh, you took too much stuff. We were all like, heck yeah, girl, like please take this stuff because we don't want it back. So she found some really good stuff that I hope will be very useful for her. And we were all like trying stuff on for each other and showing each other and hyping each other up, like, heck yeah, that looks great on you. Oh my gosh, you should take that thing. Or like suggesting little minor alterations and changes, like, oh, if you just pin this here, if you just take this in here, that'll be fantastic, you know? So it was really fun. Everyone was really encouraging of each other and excited to like see their unwanted stuff find a new home. So it was a really good time. I think we all had a lot of fun shopping each other's stuff and having tacos and playing with the little kids that were there. It was just a good time, and I'm really glad that I went through with this plan. I'm bummed that not all of my friends could make it, so hopefully if I keep doing this in the future, like even if we just do it once a year, I think that would be a good plan. I highly, highly recommend that you do this. It was so much fun. So that being said, let me show you the couple of things that I got. So initially I did not plan on really shopping much because I'm kind of trying to refine my wardrobe a little bit more. I'm trying to be more picky about what I bring into my wardrobe, making sure that stuff actually suits my life. I'm pickier about fit, I'm pickier about fabric. What can I say? I'm just picky. But I did end up getting a couple of things that I think are really cute. Hopefully I'll get some use out of them, so let me show them to you. Well, first up, I did get some stickers. My friend brought a bunch of stickers, I guess, that she didn't want, so that was fun. I love stickers. I did pick up this little crossbody bag. Now, at first I did pass this over because I have all the handbags that I really need, and this is a bit on the small side, but I just thought it looked like so perfect to work in with a more fantasy or Ren Fair type of look, and it has like a little wallet part on the back, so I don't need to shove my whole wallet in there. It's big enough for my phone and a few other little bits and baubles. So initially I did pass it up, but then I thought, you know, this could work for the direction that my style tends to be going some days. You know, actually, let me clip my microphone so I can have my hands free. Are you gonna be able to hear me down there? Hello? Again, another item that I initially passed up, but then I tried it on and thought, yeah, I could probably get some use out of that. It's this little button-up pink top with a bit of a puff sleeve. And initially I passed it up because the tag says it's a 3 extra small. I've never even heard of a 3 extra small. Shouldn't that just be in the child section? But then when I tried it on, it does just fit like a regular small. Very confusing. It makes me wonder like if it was supposed to be an oversized fit, but I was thinking it would be a nice layering piece under some dresses. It does have like just a very simple feminine kind of cottagecore look to it, which honestly fits right in with my wardrobe right now. And if I end up not loving the color, I could try dyeing it a different color. What is this made of? Viscose. I don't know if viscose will dye. So if I end up not loving the color, actually, so just a cute little simple top. Another one that I passed up initially. Like I said, I just was not like in the mindset to do some shopping, but then I was like, but it's for free. So I picked up this green dress with this cute little dainty floral pattern on it. And the reason I passed it up initially is because it is a Shein dress made of that very awful cheap polyester material, which I'm trying to move away from in my wardrobe. But when I tried it on, it was so cute. And all my friends were like, yeah, that's you. That's 100% like a Melody dress. So I probably just won't wear it during the warmest summer months because that material will be very uncomfortable. But I could see it working so beautifully in the fall and the spring. And I could potentially just make or buy a cotton or linen chemise or underdress, like slip. Maybe that might help the material not be right against my skin. But it's so cute, and I've really been drawn to green lately. Speaking of, here's more green. This is from my sister-in-law. I was with her when she thrifted this blazer. I actually took out the shoulder pads for her even. It's so cute. I mean, look at this fantastic, like, is it tweed? I don't know my materials. Anyway, look at this fantastic green plaid, and it has a velvet collar. Ugh, so dreamy. So I was like, oh girl, no, if you're getting rid of this, I will wear this. I also picked up this deep forest green bridesmaid dress that was from my wedding. Again, something my sister-in-law was getting rid of, and I'm totally fine that she was getting rid of it. I'm not like hurt that she got rid of the bridesmaid's dress from my wedding. I don't care. If you're not gonna wear it, you're not gonna wear it. But I love this color, and I think I want to use the chiffon fabric for something else. I might just turn it into a skirt, or I could repurpose it into just, I don't know, anything else. There's a big chunk of this really nice chiffon fabric in the skirt portion of the dress, so I'm really just keeping it for the fabric. And the last thing I got actually wasn't set out at the clothing swap. My sister-in-law gave this to me directly because she knew that it was something more like my style that she thought I would like. So that is another thing to consider when you're like going through your clothing to put out at the clothing swap. If you have something in mind for someone specifically, just offer that to them ahead of time rather than setting it out and just like hoping that they'll take it. So it's this gorgeous cotton floral maxi dress. It's like an ivory with little purple flowers on it, with poofy sleeves, a sheared bodice, probably a little bit warm for summer with the long sleeves, but absolutely would be perfect for the fall and the spring. Definitely would be perfect to style for a Renaissance fair. And actually this was from her sister. I guess she bought it and then ended up not liking it or not using it and never returned it. And so then she gave it to my sister-in-law, and then she wasn't gonna wear it, so now she passed it to me. So big thank you to my sister-in-law's sister. Does that make her my sister-in-law once removed? I don't know how all that works. So that is my mini haul from my clothing swap party. Like I said, it was just such a good time. I'm so glad my friends had a good time too. I'm very happy with how it all went. I think I have a lot of good information from this first trial run to, in the future, set up a bigger clothing swap with more people and have it a little bit more structured so that it goes smoothly with a larger group. So I highly encourage you guys to do the same if you're at all thinking about it. Start with a group of like less than 10 people if you're nervous about it being too much and too chaotic. It was a lot of fun. I highly recommend. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a little flower emoji down in the comments because I seem to have acquired a lot of little ditzy floral prints. I love it though. I love like a calico dainty floral print. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I will see you next time. Bye!